Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, health officials say vaccinated travelers must undergo PCR testing until herd immunity is achieved. Dominicans told to stay home and remain safe this carnival. And the real possibility that travelers who are not vaccinated against COVID-19 could soon face travel restrictions. The details of the news coming up.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
First up in the news, individuals entering the country who have already been vaccinated against COVID-19 will still be required to go through the required testing. That was one of the concerns addressed by National Epidemiologist Dr. Shaladdin Ahmed at Monday's Ministry of Health News Conference. Dr. Ahmed says even if you have been vaccinated, the protocols still apply until herd immunity is achieved.
To short answer to that, yes, they still have to do the PCR testing. PAHO WHO, as we are guided by their guidance, so there is no switch in terms of our protocols, in terms of our taking this PCR testing. There is no change in that. Mainly because we have not received the herd immunity. That's the most important part. At that point, we can decide as to whether we should stop testing people. Until that point, we would not know for sure if the immunity level, how long, and the extent of it. So we continue to monitor with the PCR testing. So this is important at this time. We are discussing on a weekly basis on that matter. Any scientific literature that is out there, we are going through it. We are in contact or in touch with PAHO WHO in terms of if there is any development in this regard.
Prime Minister Skerrit says while Dominicans will not be forced to take the COVID-19 vaccine, vaccine hesitancy may have real-life implications for those who refuse to be immunized. The Prime Minister says there is currently no discussion at CARICOM level with respect to mandatory imposition of vaccines as a requirement for travel, but Mr. Skerrit says it's just a matter of time.
The reality is countries want to get back to normal. And if there is a view that the vaccines can in fact facilitate countries getting back to normal, the countries in this world are reeling from the impacts of COVID-19 from a financial economic standpoint, the job losses and there's an increase in poverty levels, and businesses are being closed, and especially people in tourism related businesses. So if that's what's going to cause people to be able to travel again and to get back into schools across the world, universities are online, most of them. So as a result of significant losses for these universities, you may very well find, as I said, and there's been discussions from the airlines, interestingly, about making traveling with them, having been vaccinated being mandatory to travel with them.
Mr. Skerrit believes countries will naturally follow the airlines, making vaccination mandatory for travel.
This is why I believe that it's important for us as citizens and residents of this country to avail ourselves of the scientific information, and be guided by our health professionals on this. I can only make a decision for myself in this respect, and for my family. But each of us has to make a decision for ourselves, and of course on behalf of our families and so on. But the key in this is to follow the science and follow the guidance given to us by the Ministry of Health. I think this is the authority that we should be listening to on this matter, and to determine at the end of the day whether we're going to take it or not.
A renewed call for Dominicans to stay home and stay safe during the carnival season. The remarks from new president of the Association of Music Professionals, AMP, as Dominica observed Bouillon Day on Tuesday.
With the presence of COVID-19, it is definitely a different Bouillon Day than we anticipated. But nevertheless, we encourage all Dominicans and fans of Bouillon music around the globe to celebrate this special day in a safe and responsible way, preferably inside, enjoying virtual sessions with close families and friends.
The recognition of Bouillon Day started in 2015 by the then Advertising and Promotion Officer of the Dominica Festivals Committee, Val Cuffey, in collaboration with DBS Radio. And the youngest first-time finalist in this year's competition is hoping her song can start the wheel of change in the country. Andrea Louis explains.
Nashelle Walsh is among 4 who made it to the finals for the first time this year. Walsh was introduced to singing Calypso at her alma mater, the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School, in 2008. She subsequently won the title of Junior Calypso Monarch in 2013. Walsh, who is happy to be among the top Calypsonians this year, says her song, titled Business as Usual, was written by Fitzroy Hardline Hilton.
It feels great, honestly, to be among the top, the cream of the crop. Yes, it feels awesome. The song I'm singing is entitled Business as Usual. My writer is Hardline. He's not in state right now. When I first heard the song, honestly, I was a bit skeptical about it. And then I decided I could actually sing that song very well. So then I went ahead with it, recorded right away and so on. And the song is basically about, our attitudes about life. A lot of stuff is happening, a lot of issues, yet still we avoid it and we just go about our day as normal. Business as usual.
The Calypsonian says preparations are well underway for the weekend show, and she's more confident singing with the big guns in the industry.
Oh my God, it's terrifying because, especially at the semis, when I dipped and I took number 22, I was waiting whole night to see who would sing before me. And it came down to 2, Carissa and Dice, and I was like, oh my God. And then Dice was before me and I was a bit afraid. But then I got some advice, from Mr. Lloyd and one of Wave's manager and so on. And they tell me, the best thing is to be singing after the greatest. Once you can sing after the greatest and you rise, then you know that you have potential. And so when Dice was on stage, I literally blocked my ears and I sang my song so that I wouldn't feel any type of way towards him singing. And basically that's how I did it. Preparation for the show is coming on okay. Things are good so far. I just hope everything falls in place.
Walsh is hopeful that people will take heed of the message in her song and make the necessary changes.
Change I would like to see is the change in our attitude, our ways. A lot of stuff is happening and we are not attentive. We don't listen, we don't care. We just go about our day as we would like to. So I would like to see people taking more precaution, having more love for one another.
You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid. But there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
National epidemiologist Dr. Shaladdin Ahmed has expressed confidence in the efficacy of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine to be rolled out here shortly. A gift of 35,000 vaccines or 70,000 doses from the government of India were expected to arrive in Dominica on Tuesday. That was actually expected to happen about 8 p.m. on Tuesday evening.
AstraZeneca has, it's a 60-some%, 62 or 63% efficacy as compared to the Pfizer and Moderna. This is just one study. In another study, the efficacy of AstraZeneca, the trial conducted in UK that had 90% efficacy. There was discrepancy in terms of the dosage. So with the different dosage, they got the efficacy much higher. So on average, is over 70% of efficacy. To be honest with you, any vaccine over 60%, it hits the benchmark. Any vaccine previously, measles, mumps, rubella, they all had the same benchmark, not 100%, not 90% even. So with this in mind, AstraZeneca is for us, only option at this time to really to embark on. Pfizer requires minus 70 degrees centigrade. That capacity, that's really only few countries can go ahead and implement that. In terms of Moderna, it's not available outside of United States, and it is not one of those COVAX facility vaccine as yet. So AstraZeneca actually is a COVAX facility vaccine, and it is available to globally, and we are in better position to really implement this and get this vaccine done in our country. I just want to expand on this matter is that we have a window period that we don't have the community transmission, unlike other sister countries. So this is important that we use this time and implement this AstraZeneca vaccine before, God knows, if anything happens.
In terms of the actual distribution of the AstraZeneca vaccines, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Laura Esprit says the plan is to vaccinate a few hundred individuals per day, and that includes seniors.
In terms of daily target, it took us a lot of maths to come up with the figures, but we're looking at approximately 300 to 400 persons per day. But please bear in mind there are varied circumstances. On an individual level, there are certain things that is concerning from a health standpoint, but on average, we're looking at 300 to 400 persons. In terms of the elderly homes, essentially that's where some of our elderlies are, so that would be incorporated. Of course, we would have to liaise with the management of the elderly home.
Public education or sensitization is expected to play a key role in the vaccine rollout. Mignon Rule Shillingford heads the Health Promotion Unit in the Ministry of Health.
As part of our implementation team, we have also established a communication committee, and we will be using a wide range of activities for information sharing. So one of the first activities we will commence with is, of course, empowering and training our healthcare workers. We have already selected dates for that. It will happen as soon as from tomorrow. So we'll be educating and informing and advocating with all of our healthcare providers for 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. From that, and somewhat simultaneously, we begin information and educating the public. And we'll be doing that through many mediums. So we'll be using animations, we'll be on the radio discussion, all of the different radio outlets, and we'll have the public have the opportunity to call in and ask questions. The team that you see behind of me form part of the communication team, and all of them are critical in different subject matters. So for instance, we have the EPI manager who's responsible for vaccines. We have the director of primary healthcare for implementation and rollout. We have the medical director. We have lab, who will speak in terms of the need for continuous testing of PCR persons, even if they have taken COVID vaccine. So these persons will be the face of the implementation and information section of the COVID vaccine. So we'll be doing animated videos, we're doing PSAs, and of course we have always thought of our persons with disabilities. So we will be sending out information also in sign language as we have done before. So we want to just assure you and assure the public that we will not leave any stone unturned in sending out information and education to the public.
And as Stardom Tent prepares its final staging on Wednesday, Chairman of the organization says the 2021 Calypso season has not gone as expected. Here is Andrea Louis with that story.
Stardom Calypso Tent went ahead with the hosting of Calypso shows for what would have been the carnival season, keeping in mind the health protocols implemented due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Under the health protocols, no more than 199 people are allowed at the venue, and the 6-foot distance must be maintained by patrons. Stardom Tent Chairman Norman Later says understandably this year's tent is not the same, but laments that some people missed out on the Calypso shows due to their inability to attend virtually.
Well, the season, for this present situation with COVID-19, the season, we have to say the season has been okay, but obviously it's nothing like what we are accustomed to. Because if you think of it, there's a whole set of people who do not have internet, I mean, or Wi-Fi, if you want to call it so, and they don't have smartphones, and then we are missing all the foreigners, like the French foreigners, and the local and the foreign Dominicans who come for the carnival season. Like last night would have been Lagon Street Jam, and we would have had a lot of Dominicans living abroad, or Dominicans from the diaspora. So you find the tent is not what it has been in the past.
While the COVID-affected carnival season has dealt a financial blow to the management, Calypsonians and band associated with the Stardom Tent, Later says there has been an uptick in the use of the online streaming platform.
Well, I'll tell you, our streaming this year has been better, plenty better than ever before. But it's a whole different situation. I mean, people are more aware of the streaming and so on now, and we don't have choice anyway. I mean, we have a tent, we are allowed 150 people, so we must have people streaming. It becomes a major part of the whole thing. We are trying, it's a special time, so we just have to accept it. I suppose next year will be different.
The final staging of Stardom Tent will take place on Wednesday and is dubbed Stardom Monarch of the Tent.
Tomorrow is the final tent, so we have the Swinging Stars opening, and that is Swinging Stars at its best, and then we will go into our Stardom Monarch competition. We have Hunter, Observer, JD, Tasha, Checker, Omi, Sour, Hixie, Nashel, Son of the Saint, Bingo, Abia, The Oracle, Mighty D, Danyan. We also have Alicia, Insighter, The Great White, Shadow Flow, and Lugas.
The Stardom Monarch of the Tent is scheduled for 9 o'clock at the Old Mill Cultural Center. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
We are strong. We are resilient and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid. But there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, a look again at the headlines. Health officials say vaccinated travelers must undergo PCR testing until herd immunity is achieved. Dominicans told to stay home and remain safe this carnival, and a real possibility that travelers who are not vaccinated against COVID-19 could soon face travel restrictions. You may access the news on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.